Camille Gouget Hill, do me a favour, shut the fuck up. Right, after a lovely, luscious breakaway in the island of Corfu, I have come back ready and refreshed to tell you something that I learnt whilst I was away. As someone who has struggled and perilously tried to find ways to get closer to not beating themselves up all the time when they do work and when they're self-improving and just generally working towards things, I think I found the trick. I think I found whilst I was away that the most important thing to remember when it comes to your work is not to consider it as something that is an obligation. You're not having to do this stuff. You're not being forced to work on yourself, to go to the gym, to do your study, to make your YouTube channel, whatever. None of this thing is forced. You don't have to do any of this. And I realised whilst I was away, that very thing. As I sat on a balcony with a Disaronno in one hand, a cigar in another, and studying in front of me, I realised that this is actually enjoyable. And that the reason why I'm doing it is because it's enjoyable. It's because I actually like the feeling of sitting here and improving myself. And for such a long time, I have found that I've been looking at that in a totally upside down manner. I've been looking at it as this grueling task of, you've got to do this because otherwise you're going to be a poor little peasant who's not going to be able to provide for his family. And it's not the case, to an extent. I've found that whilst I was away, there is real enjoyment to be found in what it is that I'm doing, and I think the change of scenery that was offered to me looking over a balcony in Corfu was exactly what I needed to be refreshed and to remember that this is all choice. I don't have to do any of the stuff that I'm doing, and neither do you. And that's the point that I really want to make in today's video, is we can get very bogged down in our self-improvement journey of this feeling that we're on this grueling road towards the prosperous lands of financial freedom or mindfulness or whatever it is that we're chasing, business potentially. And because we frame it in such a manner, it can actually become a very monotonous and even hurtful task to do things that are otherwise enjoyable, positive and fruitful. You know, I think when you can reframe the things you're doing as, okay, this exercise might be hard, or this study might be monotonous or difficult. When you reframe it from that as, or to rather, I'm choosing to do this. I don't have to do any of this. This is not being imposed on me. I don't have to do what I'm doing. I'm choosing to do it because I want to do it. And I think it's important for us to remember that when we choose to take things on that are difficult, that we have chosen to do that. And as such, we are inherently admitting that what we're doing, we enjoy doing. Because otherwise we wouldn't do it. Because we don't have to do it. And I think that's a key takeaway that I shall move forward with for the rest of this year, and I shall orient myself next year around this point, is work is best done and most enjoyed when we realise that we don't have to do it. When we realise that we're doing it because we want to improve. So with that in mind, I wanted to just get that message out, because I thought this has really, really turned a corner for me as someone who struggled with this sort of tyrant on the shoulder, bearing down on you all the time. And I know other people struggle with it. So I thought I'd get this out. And with that being said, I hope you have enjoyed the return, and the videos will be back to as they should be now that I'm back in the old Great Britain, bruv. So, I hope you enjoyed, and have a beautiful day. Remember that everything you do, essentially, you don't have to do, and if you're choosing to do something that's improving yourself, then well done, good for you. But remember, just enjoy it. Boom! Back on the mic with a vengeance, bro.